My name is David Muller. I'm 39 years old. And 5 years ago, I destroyed evidence that would have changed the world. I'm not talking about some blurry photo or questionable footage. I'm talking about 47 minutes of crystal clear 4K drone video showing something that science says doesn't exist. But more than that, showing something that made me question everything I thought I knew about family, love, and what it means to protect someone. This is the story of why I deleted that footage, why I've kept this secret for 5 years, and why I do it all again, even knowing the cost. September 2019. I was 34 years old, working as a surveyor for the United States Forest Service. I'd been doing it for almost a decade. Good job, stable, mostly solitary, which suited me fine after my divorce 2 years earlier. I'm a rational man, always have been. I believe in data, measurements, facts, things I can quantify and verify. I didn't believe in ghosts, UFOs, or cryptids, especially not Bigfoot. If I couldn't measure it, it didn't exist. That was my philosophy. That philosophy died on September 23, 2019. I'd been sent to a remote section of the Cascade Mountains in Washington State. The assignment was straightforward. Spend 3 weeks mapping an area designated to become a preservation zone. Survey the terrain, document the features, submit the data. 3 weeks alone in the wilderness. Just me, my equipment, and a satellite radio for emergencies. I was camped about 30 miles from the nearest road. Deep wilderness. The kind of place where you can go days without seeing another human being. Perfect for someone like me who preferred solitude. Day 12, September 23rd. I woke up early, around 5:30 a.m., to capture drone footage of a valley I needed to map. Early morning light is best for aerial photography. The shadows revealed terrain features you missed during midday. It was cold. Fog hung between the trees like smoke. Beautiful conditions. I launched my drone, a high-end, FAO surveying model with 4K video capability and GPS tracking. I watched the controller's screen as it climbed above the tree line and began its programmed flight path over the valley. Standard procedure. I'd done this hundreds of times. Then, about 3 minutes into the flight, I saw something on the screen that made me pause. 2 figures near a creek, maybe 800 meters from my position, moving together along the bank. My first thought was wildlife. Elk, maybe, or a moose with a calf, common in that area. I adjusted the drone's path, zoomed the camera in for a better view. The image sharpened, and my blood went cold. The larger figure was bipedal, walking upright like a human. But it wasn't human. It was massive, had to be over 8 feet tall, covered in dark reddish-brown fur, broad shoulders, arms that hung past its knees, head shape that was almost human but not quite. Conical, pronounced brow ridge. And beside it, holding what appeared to be its hand, was a child. A human child. A girl. Maybe 7 or 8 years old. She had tangled, matted hair, dirty face, wearing what looked like torn, weathered clothing, remnants of a shirt and pants that had seen better days. But she was walking normally, not being dragged, not struggling, just walking. Like this was completely normal. I stood there frozen, controller in my hands, staring at the screen. My brain was trying to process what I was seeing, categorize it, make sense of it. Lost child? Had to be. Some kid who'd gotten separated from a camping trip, wandering, delirious, following a what? That thing wasn't a bear. Bears don't walk upright consistently, don't have that body structure. It looked like every description I'd ever heard of Bigfoot. Sasquatch, the legend, the myth. Except it was right there on my screen, in high definition, undeniable. I knew I should grab the satellite radio. Call it in immediately. Base, this is Mueller. I've got a lost child at these coordinates. Send immediate assistance. But I didn't move. Something kept me frozen. Curiosity, fear, disbelief. I kept the drone focused on them, kept recording. They were moving toward the creek, maybe going to drink or cross. The girl was saying something to the creature. I couldn't hear audio, but I could see her head turned up toward it, mouth moving. And the creature, it looked down at her, responded with what looked like vocalizations, its mouth moving in what seemed like communication. They were talking, or something like talking. Then both of them stopped suddenly. The creature's head snapped up. Its body language changed instantly, from relaxed to alert. Tense, ready. It sniffed the air. I could see that clearly, even from 800 meters up. Turning its head, testing the wind. Then it moved, fast, grabbed the girl gently but firmly, and pulled her behind itself, positioning its massive body between her and something I couldn't see yet. Something was wrong. Something had triggered its protective instincts. I panned the drone camera, looking for what had spooked them. Then I saw it emerge from the dense vegetation on the opposite side of the creek. A grizzly bear, massive, had to be 900 pounds, maybe more. Adult male. The bear rose up on its hind legs, a threat display. Even without audio, I knew it was roaring. The posture, the open mouth, the aggression in every line of its body. This was bad, really bad. A grizzly that size could kill both of them. I watched the screen, helpless, 800 meters away, with no way to intervene. What happened next is burned into my memory forever. The creature didn't run, didn't grab the girl and flee. Instead, it did something that made my hands start shaking. It gently, and I mean genuinely gently, guided the girl behind a large boulder on the creek bank, positioned her there, hidden from the bear's line of sight. Then it touched her face. This massive hand, easily big enough to crush her skull, touched her cheek with unmistakable tenderness. I don't know what expression the creature made. I was too far away for that detail. But the body language was universal. Protective, loving, reassuring. It was telling her, "Stay here, stay hidden, I'll protect you." Then it turned to face the bear. The bear charged, came down on all fours and rushed across the creek, water splashing, heading straight for the creature. And the creature met it head on. They collided in the middle of the creek with an impact I swear I felt through the ground, even at my distance. The spray of water, the violence of the collision. It was brutal, primal. Two apex predators locked in combat, claws and fists. The bear's massive paws swiping, trying to get past the creature's guard. The creature using its fists, its arms, blocking and striking. The water around them turned red almost immediately. At one point, the bear got through. Its claws raked across the creature's shoulder, tearing through fur and flesh. I saw dark blood, so much blood, pouring from the wound. The creature stumbled, nearly went down. But it got back up, always got back up. And through the entire fight, every move, every position it took, the creature never moved away from that boulder where the girl was hidden. Every time the bear tried to flank it, tried to get around to where the girl was, the creature blocked it, repositioned, kept itself between the threat and the child. It was taking damage deliberately, choosing to be wounded rather than let the bear get past. That's when I understood, really understood. This wasn't animal behavior. This wasn't instinct. This was a conscious choice. A parent protecting their child, willing to die to keep them safe. The fight lasted maybe 2 minutes. Felt like an hour. Finally, the creature managed to get both hands around the bear's throat. It actually lifted 900 pounds of grizzly bear and threw it against a tree. The impact shook branches loose. The bear hit the ground hard. It got up, shook its head, looked at the creature, bleeding and heaving, but still standing between it and potential prey. And the bear made a decision. This wasn't worth it. Whatever was behind that creature wasn't worth this much effort, this much injury. It turned and lumbered back into the forest. The creature stood there, swaying slightly, blood dripping from the shoulder wound, from scratches on its arms, from its face where the bear had connected. It was hurt, badly hurt, but it had won. Then it turned, slowly, painfully, toward the boulder where the girl was hidden. I watched through the screen as the girl emerged, ran toward the creature. She was crying. Even without audio, I could tell, her whole body shaking with sobs. She reached the creature and threw her arms around its leg, as high as she could reach, pressed her face against the bloodied fur. And what the creature did next destroyed me completely. It knelt down. Despite the obvious pain from its wounds, it lowered itself to the girl's level. And with that massive hand, the same hand that had just fought off a grizzly bear, it gently brushed the tangled hair back from her face, checking her, making sure she was okay, looking for any injuries. The girl was touching the creature's wounds now. I could see her distress, her worry. The creature made what I could only interpret as soothing sounds. Its head movement, a shake side to side. Universal gesture. I'm okay, don't worry. I'm fine. The girl hugged it again, and the creature wrapped one arm around her. Careful, protective, loving. I was crying, standing there in the forest, watching my drone feed, crying like I hadn't cried since my divorce. Because I understood what I was seeing. This wasn't a monster. This wasn't a creature. This was a parent, and that was its child. Species didn't matter. Biology didn't matter. That was pure, undeniable, unmistakable love. After a few minutes, the creature stood up again, took the girl's hand, and together they walked back into the forest, moving slowly because of the injuries, but moving together. The girl looking up at the creature looking down at her. Family. I landed the drone with shaking hands. Checked the file. 47 minutes and 23 seconds of footage. Everything captured. From the first sighting to the fight to that final moment of tenderness. Proof. Absolute, undeniable proof that Bigfoot existed. And more than that. Proof of something even more extraordinary. I sat down hard on the ground. My satellite radio was right there. All I had to do was pick it up. Call it in. Base, this is Mueller. I found a lost child. Coordinates are... But my hand stopped halfway to the radio because I started thinking. Really thinking. What would happen if I made that call? Rescue teams would come. Helicopters, armed rangers, probably FBI since it involved a child. Media would follow, they always did with missing kids. They'd rescue the girl. Take her away from the only protection she clearly had. And the creature? It would be hunted, tracked, captured if possible, killed if necessary. They'd call it dangerous, call it a threat. Ignore everything I just witnessed, the protection, the love, the gentleness, because people see what they want to see. In a creature that large, that powerful, they'd see a monster, a threat, something to be neutralized. I thought about that moment after the fight. The creature checking on the girl crying and hugging it. That wasn't kidnapping. That wasn't imprisonment. That was family. However it had started, whatever the circumstances, those two were family now, and calling in rescue teams would destroy that. I looked at my controller, at the 47 minutes of footage that could make me famous, that could prove to the world that cryptids existed, that could change science, change everything. And I made my choice. I deleted it. Every second, all 47 minutes. Watched the progress bar as the file was erased. Permanent deletion. Unrecoverable. Then I sat there in the cold morning air, wondering if I'd just made the biggest mistake of my life, or if I'd done the only decent thing I could do. I completed my 3-week assignment, submitted my maps and surveys, returned to civilization, and I told no one. Not my supervisor, not my friends. No one. Because I'd seen something extraordinary, something that changed my understanding of the world, and I'd chosen to protect it rather than expose it, even if it meant carrying that secret alone, even if it meant never knowing if I'd made the right choice. I was 34 years old, and I'd just witnessed the most profound act of love I'd ever seen, from something that wasn't supposed to exist. Protecting someone who probably shouldn't have survived alone in the wilderness. And I let them walk away together. Back into the forest, back into their life, back into the secret world I'd accidentally glimpsed. I'd destroyed the proof, protected the secret, saved the family, but I'd also doomed myself to a lifetime of questions. Questions that would haunt me for the next 5 years, questions that haunt me still. Did I do the right thing? Or did I make everything worse? I still don't know. Even now, I don't know. But I do know this. I saw love, real love, and I couldn't destroy it, even if it cost me everything else. I thought deleting that footage would bring me peace, that I'd made my choice and could move on with my life. I was wrong. The first few weeks after returning from the Cascades, I functioned on autopilot. Went to work, submitted reports, processed new assignments, normal routine. But at night, I'd lie awake replaying everything in my mind, every detail. The way the creature moved, the girl's tangled hair, the bear fight, that moment of tenderness after, over and over, like a loop I couldn't stop. By October 2019, my supervisor noticed something was off. "Mueller, you okay? You seem distracted. Made 3 errors in the last survey you submitted. That's not like you." "I'm fine, just tired. The Cascades assignment took more out of me than I expected. Take a few days off, rest, come back sharp." But rest didn't help, because the questions wouldn't stop. Who was that girl? How did she end up with that creature? How long had they been together? I started researching, obsessively. Every missing child case in Washington state for the past decade. I was looking for a match. A girl, age appropriate, disappeared in the Cascades region. Had to be there somewhere. But nothing fit perfectly. Most missing children were either found quickly or confirmed dead. Bodies recovered, cases closed. The ones that remained open, the true mysteries, didn't quite match what I'd seen. Wrong age, wrong region, wrong time frame. Unless she'd been missing for longer than I thought. Unless she'd been 7 or 8 when she disappeared and was older now. 10? 11? I couldn't tell from the drone footage. Couldn't gauge her exact age. Malnutrition could make her look younger, or wilderness living could make her look older. The more I researched, the less certain I became about anything. December 2019, 3 months after the sighting. I couldn't let it go. The secret was eating me alive. I started reading everything I could find about Bigfoot. Not the tabloid garbage, Serious. Research, academic papers, anthropological studies, indigenous legends, the Pacific Northwest tribes, Salish, Lummi, Snohomish. They all had stories going back centuries. The Sasquatch, the wild man of the woods. But what caught my attention were the specific legends. Stories about Sasquatch taking lost children, protecting them, raising them. Stories I'd always dismissed as myth. Cautionary tales to keep kids from wandering too far from camp. But I'd seen it with my own eyes. What if the myths were based on truth? What if this had been happening for generations? I found something else too. Patterns in the data. There were clusters of Bigfoot sightings that correlated with areas where children had disappeared. Not perfectly, not enough to prove causation, but enough to make me wonder. What if some of those missing children weren't dead? What if they'd been found by something else? Something that protected them instead of harming them? It sounded insane, even to me. But I'd seen what I'd seen. January 2020. I made a decision. I took personal time off work, told my supervisor I needed to deal with some family issues. He didn't ask questions. My divorce had been messy, and he probably assumed it was related to that. I drove back to the Cascades, to the area where I'd done my survey, where I'd seen them. I hiked to the creek, found the exact spot where the fight had happened. There were signs, disturbed ground near the boulder, scratches on the tree where the bear had hit, old bloodstains on rocks, faded by weather but still visible if you knew what to look for. It had been real. Not a hallucination, not a fever dream. Real. I left something there. An offering, I guess. Protein bars, a water bottle, and a note written on waterproof paper. You're safe. I won't tell anyone. I saw what you did, how you protected her. Stay hidden, stay safe. I'll keep your secret. I didn't expect a response. Didn't even know if they were still in the area. But I needed to do something. Needed them to know, if they were watching, if they remembered me and my drone, that I wasn't a threat. February 2020. I returned to check. The protein bars were gone. The water bottle was gone. The note was gone. And in their place, on that same flat rock, was a smooth river stone. Not random. Deliberately placed, centered perfectly where my offerings had been. My hands shook as I picked it up, turned it over. It was just a stone, no markings, no message. But it was a response, an acknowledgement. They'd taken what I'd left, and they'd left something in return. Communication, across species, across worlds. I sat down hard, overwhelmed. You're out there. You know I'm here. You know I'm not a threat. I left more offerings that day. Fruit, dried meat, a small first aid kit in case the creature's wounds from the bear still needed treatment. And I started visiting monthly, always leaving offerings, usually finding small responses. Another stone, a feather once. Once, a small piece of carved wood, rough but intentional. Someone had shaped it deliberately. I was having a conversation, without words, without ever seeing them directly. But a conversation nonetheless, and I couldn't tell anyone. Couldn't share this extraordinary thing happening in my life, because sharing meant exposure, meant ending it, meant destroying what I was trying to protect. 2020, 2021. My life deteriorated, work suffered, I was distracted, unfocused, made mistakes that weren't like me. My supervisor gave me warnings, put me on probation. I didn't care. Work felt meaningless compared to what I knew existed out there. My social life, already minimal after the divorce, disappeared completely. I stopped answering calls from friends, stopped attending family events. My sister called me once. David, what's going on with you? Mom says you haven't visited in months. You barely return calls. Are you okay? I'm fine, just busy with work. You don't sound fine. You sound obsessed with something. What's going on? Nothing. I'm just tired. I'll visit soon, I promise. I never did. I stopped promising. Because how could I explain? How could I tell them that I was spending all my free time and money maintaining contact with a cryptid and a wild child in the Cascades? They'd think I was crazy. Maybe I was crazy. But I couldn't stop. The internal war. Every day was a battle with myself. Part of me said, "You're protecting them, keeping them safe. This is noble. This is right." Another part said, "That girl might need medical care, real education, human connection. You're abandoning her." And both parts were right. That was the problem. I'd see age progression photos of missing children on the news, parents' desperate faces. "Please, if you know anything, anything at all." And I'd think, I know something. I know a girl is alive out there. I could end someone's suffering, give them closure. But closure for one family meant destruction for another. The creature would be hunted. The girl would be torn away from the only family she knew. I'd go in circles. Days of convincing myself to call authorities. Then days of convincing myself to stay silent. The weight of it was crushing me. March 2022. The breaking point. My supervisor called me into his office. "David, we need to talk. Your performance has been unacceptable for nearly 2 years now. Multiple errors, missed deadlines, complaints from team members about your attitude." "I know. I'm sorry. I'll do better." "That's what you said 6 months ago. And 6 months before that. I've tried to give you space. Thought maybe you were dealing with divorce issues. But this has gone on too long." He slid a paper across his desk. "This is a performance improvement plan. You have 60 days to show measurable improvement or we'll have to let you go." I looked at the paper. Thought about fighting it. Thought about explaining. Thought about... "I resign." He blinked. "What?" "I resign. Effective. Immediately. I can't do this anymore. Not the job. Not the pretending everything is normal. I can't." "David, don't be rash. Take the 60 days. Try to... No, I'm done. I'll submit formal paperwork tomorrow." I walked out. Cleaned out my desk. Left my keys and ID badge. 10 years with the Forest Service. Gone. Because I couldn't focus on anything except a secret I'd sworn to keep. I should have felt panic. Unemployment at 37, no plan, no prospects. But I felt relief. At least now I didn't have to pretend anymore. Late 2022, unemployed and isolated. I was living off savings. Spending most days on my computer, reading, researching, obsessing. That's when I found the forum. An obscure corner of the internet dedicated to Bigfoot sightings. Mostly cranks and hoaxers, but some serious researchers too. I'd avoided these places for 3 years, too afraid of accidentally revealing something. But I was desperate. Needed to share the burden somehow, even anonymously. I created an account, anonymous username, VPN masking my location, all precautions taken, and I wrote it all out. Everything. The drone footage, the bear fight, the girl, the creature's protection, the choice I'd made to delete the evidence. I poured 3 years of guilt and questions into that post. Ended with, "If you had proof something extraordinary exists, but revealing that proof would destroy the thing you're trying to prove, what would you do?" Posted it. Logged off. Didn't expect much. The response. I checked back 3 days later. The post had exploded. Hundreds of responses. Most called it fake, creative writing. Nice story, but obviously fiction. Some defended it. Why would someone make this up? Too specific, too detailed, too real. Arguments raged in the comments. Theories, accusations, demands for proof I couldn't provide. I read through it all, feeling simultaneously vindicated that people were talking about it and terrified that I'd revealed too much. Then I saw one response that made my heart stop. Posted by a user account created that same day. No other posts, no profile information. The message said simply, "You did the right thing. She's safe. They're well." I stared at that message for 10 minutes straight. Who wrote that? Someone who knows. Someone who's seen them. Someone who... I tried to trace the account. Dead end. Fake email. Posted through layers of VPN and proxy servers. Completely untraceable. Whoever wrote it knew how to stay hidden. Knew how to communicate without being found. Just like the creatures themselves. I wanted to respond, to ask questions, to connect with whoever this was. But the account never posted again. Created just to send that one message, then vanished. She's safe. They're well. Someone else knew. Someone else was watching over them, or someone was them, though that seemed impossible. A Bigfoot using the internet? But after what I'd seen, I couldn't dismiss anything as impossible anymore. New purpose. That message changed something in me. I wasn't alone in this. Others knew, others were protecting them too. Maybe there was a whole network of people who knew the truth and kept the secret. Silent guardians. Or maybe indigenous communities who'd always known, always protected, always kept the old agreements. Either way, I wasn't alone. And that helped. I used what was left of my savings to do something concrete. Bought a small parcel of land, 20 acres, on the edge of the Cascade Wilderness. Remote. Cheap because of how isolated it was. Built a small cabin, nothing fancy. Just shelter. A place to be close to them, even if I never saw them again. Posted no trespassing signs around the perimeter. Walked the land regularly. Kept an eye out for hunters, hikers, anyone who might stumble into areas I knew they frequented. It was meaningless in the grand scheme. 20 acres couldn't protect them from the world. But it was something. A small buffer. A tiny sanctuary. I was broke. Unemployed. Isolated. Living in a cabin in the woods like a hermit. But for the first time in years, I felt like I was doing something right. Still, the questions remained. Who was that girl? How did she end up with the creature? Was she lost and found, or something else? How long had they been together? Months? Years? Did she remember her human life? Want to return? Or had she bonded completely with the creature? And most troubling, were there others? Other children? Other creatures? A whole hidden society I'd glimpsed just the edge of? I'd destroyed the evidence because I thought it was the right thing to do. To protect them. But 3 years later, I still didn't know if it was right. Still didn't know if I'd save them or abandon them. Still didn't know if that girl was safe or suffering, happy or trapped. The uncertainty was torture. But it was torture I'd chosen. Because the alternative, exposing them, was something I still couldn't accept. Present day, 2024. 5 years since the sighting. I'm 39 years old. Living in my cabin. Taking odd jobs to survive. Spending most of my time on my land. I still visit the creek quarterly. Still leave offerings. Still find occasional responses. Stones. Feathers. Signs that someone's there, someone's watching, someone remembers. But I've never seen them again. Not directly. Not since that day in 2019. Maybe they moved on, deeper into wilderness, away from areas humans frequent. That would be smart, safe. Or maybe they're still there, just more careful now, more hidden. I don't know. And I've accepted that I may never know. All I know is what I saw that day. A parent protecting a child, love transcending species, family defined not by biology but by choice and commitment. And I made my choice to honor that, to protect it, even if it cost me my career, my relationships, my certainty about anything. I destroyed evidence that would have made me famous, that would have proven cryptids exist. But I saved something more important than proof. I saved a family. At least, that's what I tell myself on the good days. On the bad days, I wonder if I made the worst mistake possible. If I should have called it in, should have let the professionals handle it. But then I remember that moment after the fight. The creature checking on the girl hugging it, the gentleness despite the pain and blood. And I know that calling in authorities would have destroyed something beautiful, something rare, something the world didn't deserve to touch. So I keep the secret, carry the weight, live with the questions, and hope that somewhere out there they're still together, still safe, still a family. That has to be enough, because it's all I have. But sometimes, late at night, I wonder, what if they're in trouble? What if they need help? What if my silence is hurting them? And I have no answers, only faith that I did the right thing. Faith that's tested every single day. December 2024, 5 years and 3 months since the sighting. I was walking my property line, checking for damage after a recent snowfall, when I saw something that made my heart stop. A footprint, small, human-sized, barefoot in the snow, fresh, made within the last few hours, leading from the deep forest toward my cabin. The size suggested a teenager, maybe 12 or 13 years old. And I knew. Somehow, I just knew. She was coming back. After 5 years, she was coming to me. I followed those footprints with my heart hammering in my chest, small, barefoot, in snow that was maybe 28 degrees, bare feet in near freezing temperatures. That alone told me something. Whoever made these prints had adapted to wilderness, living in ways most humans couldn't survive. The tracks led directly to my cabin, circled around it once, checking, observing, then stopped at the front porch. I approached slowly, not wanting to scare whoever it was. On my porch, placed carefully on the wooden boards, a smooth river stone, the same type I'd been exchanging with them for years, and scratched into the snow beside it, crude but deliberate. Letters. Thank you. My hands started shaking. I picked up the stone. It was still slightly warm, had been held recently. She'd been here, maybe minutes ago, written this message and left before I arrived. She could write, knew English, or remembered English. She'd been watching me, knew what I'd done for them 5 years ago. And she came back to say thank you. I looked at the forest line. I know you're there. I know you can hear me. You don't have to hide. I'm not a threat. I never was. Silence. Just wind through the trees. Snow falling softly. But I felt watched. Knew she was close. Listening. I saw you 5 years ago. You and your family. I saw what happened with the bear. I saw him protect you. I saw the love. And I made a choice to protect you both. Still nothing. But I continued. If you need help, anything, I'm here. Food, medicine, shelter, whatever you need. No judgment, no authorities, just help. I waited on the porch for 2 hours, freezing, hoping she never appeared. But when I finally went inside, I looked back. The stone was gone from where I'd placed it, and the thank you message was deliberately smoothed over. She'd taken back the stone, erased the evidence. But she'd heard me, acknowledged me. The next morning, I woke to find something on my doorstep. A small bundle wrapped in some kind of animal hide. Inside, winter berries. Hard to find this time of year. Deliberately gathered. And another message, this time carved into bark. Safe. One word. But it meant everything. She was telling me, we're okay. We're safe. Thank you for protecting us. I left a response. Set out food, jerky, dried fruit, protein bars, a warm jacket, teenage girl size, waterproof. A note. If you ever need help, I'm here. Always. 3 days of waiting. The offerings were taken. The clothes were taken. But no direct contact. Then on the third day, I found something new. Carved into a tree near my cabin, letters more carefully done than the ones in snow. Not ready. Maybe someday. She wasn't ready to face me. To face a human directly made sense. She'd been wild for 5 years now. Human contact would be strange, frightening maybe. But she was communicating, telling me she appreciated what I'd done but needed more time. I could respect that. Take all the time you need. I'll be here. December 22nd, 2024. 7 days after the first tracks. Late afternoon, I was chopping firewood behind my cabin. Sun starting to set. Temperature dropping. I heard a sound. Soft. Deliberate. Someone trying to get my attention without startling me. I turned slowly, axe lowering. 30 feet away, standing at the tree line, a girl. She was maybe 12 or 13 now. Taller than the 7-year-old I'd seen on drone footage. Lean, strong, completely adapted to wilderness. Her hair was long, tangled but not matted. Someone was caring for it. She wore clothes made from animal hides, expertly sewn, fur-lined, professional-level wilderness clothing. Her face was weathered but healthy. Sun-bronzed, eyes bright and alert. No signs of malnutrition or illness. She looked good, genuinely healthy and strong. We stared at each other. I didn't move, didn't speak, letting her control the encounter. Finally, I spoke very softly. Hi, I'm David. I saw you 5 years ago with your family. She nodded slowly. Confirmation. Memory. Are you okay? Are you safe? Another nod. Then she made sounds. Not words. Vocalizations. Similar to what I'd heard from the creature on the drone footage. She'd learned their language. Spoke like them now. Do you need anything? Help? Food? Medicine? She shook her head firmly. No. Don't need human help. Then she made more sounds. And gestured, pointing at me, then at her heart, then nodding. I understood somehow. You're saying I have a good heart? I did the right thing? Another nod. Then she did something extraordinary. She spoke. Words, English, rough, heavily accented, struggling to form sounds her mouth wasn't used to making anymore. He says, you good. You keep secret. We trust you. First words she'd spoken in probably 5 years, and she used them to tell me the creature trusted me. I felt tears starting. He's okay? The wounds from the bear, they healed? Healed. He's strong, always strong. Her words were broken, but clear enough. And you? You're happy? You don't want to go back? To people? To civilization? She thought about this. I could see her processing, choosing words carefully. I am with people. My people. He teach me. Forest teach me. This, my home, my family. The way she said people, including the creature, not seeing him as other, is different. To her, he was people. Her people. You're not lost anymore, I said quietly. You're not a victim. You're exactly where you belong. She smiled slightly. First smile I'd seen. You understand. Most not understand. Think I need rescue. But I already rescued. 5 years ago. Those words hit hard. Already rescued. By him. By the creature. When she was lost and alone and would have died. Can you tell me? How did it happen? How did you end up with him? She looked uncertain, like she was deciding how much to share. Then she began, words halting but sincere. I was 7. Camping, family, mountains. I walk away, get lost, can't find camp, can't find anybody. I search. Long time. Days. Alone. So scared. Then I fall. Down rocks. Hurt leg. Can't walk good. I think I die. Cold. Hungry. Hurt. Crying. She paused, remembering. Then he come. Big. So big. I'm very scared. But he, gentle. He pick me up. Carry me. Take me somewhere safe. Warm. Cave. He bring food. Water. Fix my leg. Wrap it. Make it better. He protect me from animals. From cold. From everything. At first I want go home. Want mom. Want dad. Cry every day. But he patient. He teach me. Show me forest. Show me how to live. How to find food. How to be safe. And I learn. I change. I become this. She gestured at herself. Forest girl. Wild girl. His daughter now. You call him he, I said. What do you call him? Does he have a name? She made a sound. A specific vocalization. Complex. Beautiful in a strange way. That his name. In his language. I can't. English version. No words for it. And he's your father now. Not just protector. Father. Yes, he my father. He loved me. I love him. Real family. The simplicity of it. The absolute certainty in her voice. She wasn't confused, wasn't brainwashed. She'd made a choice, as much as a child could, and that choice had become her identity. Your parents, I said carefully. Your original parents. They're still looking, still hoping. Don't you want them to know you're alive? Her expression changed, became sad, conflicted. I remember them, love them, but I differ now. Can't go back. Would hurt them more. How would it hurt them more? See what I become. See I choose this. Choose wild over them. That hurt worse than thinking I dead. You really believe that? Yes. Better they remember little girl I was. Not wild girl I am. Better they think I at peace. Not know I alive, but not coming home. The logic was heartbreaking, but I couldn't argue with it. Maybe she was right. Maybe knowing she was alive but choosing not to return would be crueler than believing she'd died quickly and painlessly. They deserve to know something, I said, even if not everything. She looked at me intently. What you mean? I could tell them something. That you're okay, that you're safe, without telling them where or how. Would that be okay? She thought about this for a long time. You do that? You tell them? If you want me to. If you think it would help. Maybe. I think about it. She paused. Why you help? Why you care? You not know me. Because I saw what your father did. How he protected you. How he loves you. And I saw that you love him back. That's real. That matters. And I won't destroy real love just because it's unusual. She smiled again. Bigger this time. You good man, David. Good heart, he know that. That why he let me come. Let me talk. He's here? Watching? She nodded. Always watching, always protecting. He not far, in trees. If you danger, he come fast. But he know you safe. He trust you. I looked toward the forest. Couldn't see anything. But I believed her. Can I see him? Talk to him? She made uncertain sounds. He, not ready. Maybe not ever. He very careful, very hidden. 5 years not see any human but me. That how he want. I understand. Tell him thank you. For protecting you. For being a good father. For showing me that love doesn't have limits. She nodded seriously. Made sounds toward the forest. A call. Communication. From deep in the trees, a response. The same sounds I'd heard on the drone footage 5 years ago. Deep, resonant, intelligent. He was there, listening, acknowledging. He says you welcome. He says you friend, only human friend. Tears were running down my face now. I'm honored, truly. She prepared to leave. We go soon, moving, too many people, too much noise, going deeper, much deeper, safer place. Where? She smiled. Secret, very far, very wild. Maybe never see again. That why I come now. Say goodbye. Say thank you. So this is goodbye. Final goodbye. Yes, but good goodbye. Not sad. You help us. You protect us. We remember. Always remember. She extended her hand. A handshake. Very human gesture despite everything. I took her hand. Her grip was strong, calloused from wilderness living, but warm, alive, real. Goodbye, David. Good heart, good man. She made a calling sound. The massive shadow in the trees moved, came slightly closer but stayed hidden. A huge hand reached out from the shadows. She took it without hesitation, and together they walked back into the forest, hand in hand, father and daughter. The last thing I saw was them disappearing into the trees. Two silhouettes, one massive, one small, moving as one. Family. I stood there until long after dark, until I couldn't see anything, until the cold forced me back inside. She was okay. She was happy. She'd chosen her path. And her father, that magnificent, gentle creature, had given her a life she wanted. That had to be enough, because it was all I was going to get. One conversation, one goodbye, one confirmation that I'd done the right thing 5 years ago. And now they were leaving, going somewhere I'd never find, somewhere no one would find, safe, hidden, together. I went inside my cabin and sat in darkness for hours, processing, accepting, mourning the loss while celebrating what I'd learned. She was okay. That was all that mattered. But 2 weeks later, something arrived that changed everything again. A package. No return address. Left at the Willow Creek post office with my name on it. Inside, a photograph. Old, weathered, from 2017. It showed a young girl, 7 years old, with her parents at a camping site, all three smiling, happy, innocent, before everything changed, and on the back written in careful, practiced handwriting. I remember love. I still love. But I choose different love now. Please understand. Please forgive. She wanted me to give her parents closure, without revealing the truth, without exposing her location. An impossible task, but one I had to try, because she trusted me with her story. And now she was trusting me with the hardest choice of all. How do you tell parents their child is alive without telling them where she is or why she won't come home? How do you give closure when the truth would destroy everything you're trying to protect? I held that photograph and realized the last 5 years of carrying this secret were just preparation. The real test was just beginning. I held that photograph for 3 days. The image of 7-year-old Emily with her parents at that campsite. The last place they were all together, reading her message over and over. I remember love. I still love. But I choose different love now. Please understand. Please forgive. She wanted me to give them closure. But how? Without destroying everything? I researched the family. Emily Morrison, missing since August 2017. Parents Michael and Sarah still maintained Find Emily website. Still shared age progression photos. Still hoping after 7 years. Their website destroyed me. Photos of Emily's whole life. A life interrupted. And I knew the truth. She was alive, safe, happy. But I couldn't tell them. The impossible choice. Option 1. Tell them everything. Result. They demand her location, send authorities, destroy the life she'd chosen. Option 2. Stay silent. Result. They suffer forever, never knowing, never healing. Option 3. Partial truth. Result. Unknown. Might help, might make everything worse. Every option was terrible. I drove to the Cowlitz Reservation seeking guidance. Met with Elder Thomas Running Bear. I explained vaguely, a lost child is alive, living wild by choice, happy. But her parents don't know. Do I tell them? Thomas was quiet then. When a child chooses their path, we honor that choice. Pain is part of letting go. There is no good answer, only the answer you can live with. How do I know which answer that is? You already know. You just need courage to act. He was right. February 2025. The letter. I wrote anonymously, carefully. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Morrison, in September 2019, I saw your daughter in the Cascade Mountains. She was alive, healthy, with someone protecting her. I watched this protector defend her from a grizzly bear, risk its own life to keep her safe. I couldn't intervene without endangering them both. I made a choice to leave her where she was. I can't give details. But she was safe, not in distress. She appeared. Content. I hope this brings some peace. Your daughter was alive. She was protected. She was loved. I mailed it from 3 states away, then waited. The fallout. 3 weeks later, parents of missing girl receive anonymous letter. The Morrisons went public, begging for more information. Media frenzy. I'd made things worse, given them hope without closure. 1 week later, my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Young female voice. Why you do that? Why you make them hope? Emily. She'd tracked me down somehow. You asked me to give them closure. Closure, yes. Not hope, not suffering. They crying on TV. That not closure, that torture. She was right. I'd failed everyone. I write them letter, from me. Tell them I okay, but not coming back. That help? Emily, that might hurt them more. Knowing you're alive, but choosing to stay away. Long pause. Maybe you're right. I think about it. Whatever you decide, I'll support it. You good man, David. You try help. But some things, no. Help possible. Goodbye. She hung up. June 2025. Her decision. Another package arrived. Emily's letter to me, explaining her final choice. I not sending letter to them. Better they remember little Emily with love. Not meet wild Emily they wouldn't recognize. Better they think I at peace. Kinder than hope that never fulfilled. You did right thing 5 years ago. You protected us. You honored love. Don't regret. I choose this life. I choose my father. I let my parents remember me as I was. Tell them I'm happy, that all they need know. Thank you for protecting us. Goodbye, David. She'd made the hardest choice, letting her parents believe she was gone so they could heal. July 2025, final letter. I wrote once more to the Morrisons. I can now say with certainty, Emily is alive. She is safe. She is cared for, and she is happy. She has chosen a different life, made with full awareness and contentment. She asked me to tell you, she loves you. She remembers you, but she cannot return. She has found where she belongs. Found happiness in a way she couldn't find in the world you know. Please find peace knowing she is truly okay. Not suffering, not in danger, not alone. Release her to her chosen life. Remember her with joy. That is my final message. August 2025. Peace. The Morrisons made a quiet statement. We are processing this privately. We request privacy and prayers. 3 months later, Find Emily website closed. Replaced with memorial. Emily's Garden, celebrating the life and spirit of Emily Morrison. Though we don't know her fate, we choose to believe she is at peace. We release her with love. They'd found closure. Not perfect, but enough to heal. Present day, October 2025. 6 years since I deleted that footage. 6 years of carrying the secret, of questioning, of doubting. But I know now, I did the right thing. Not perfectly, but the best I could. My final confession. My name is David Muller. I'm 39 years old. 6 years ago, I saw a Sasquatch protecting a lost child from a grizzly bear. I watched this being show more parental love than most humans demonstrate. I had 47 minutes of proof. I deleted it. And I've kept the secret. I gave the parents partial truth. Enough to know their daughter was alive. Not enough to find her. Eventually, it brought them peace. Emily is 13 now, living wild, happy, exactly where she wants to be. She chose this life, and I honored that choice. Was it right? I still don't fully know, but I know this. I saw love. Real cross-species love. A parent protecting a child loving a parent, and I chose to protect that love, even when it cost me everything else. Because some truths are more important than the truth. Some secrets are worth keeping, some loves are worth protecting. That creature showed me. Love isn't limited to our species. Family isn't defined by DNA. Protection isn't uniquely human. I saw it, I knew it, and I couldn't unknow it. I'm David Muller. I destroyed proof that Bigfoot exists. I kept a missing child's location secret for 6 years. I gave grieving parents partial truth instead of full truth. And I'd do it all again. Because I saw a father protecting his daughter, a daughter loving her father, a family that worked even though it shouldn't exist. That was worth more than fame, more than proof, more than certainty. Somewhere in the mountains, a teenage girl is living wild, being raised by something science doesn't acknowledge. And she's happy. Truly, completely happy. That's not a tragedy. That's just a different kind of family, a different kind of love. And it deserves respect, protection, privacy. I gave them that for 6 years, and I'll give them that for the rest of my life. Because some secrets are sacred. Some loves are untouchable. Some families are worth more than proof. I learned that in 47 minutes of deleted footage, and I'll carry that lesson forever.